And if you're wondering, Party Nat, why do you always act like such a fucking Mongolian? Well, it's because Mongolians are fucking hilarious. I don't know, I just like the word Mongolian. A Mongolian, yes, yes. Fucking Mongolians. What up guys, Party Knife here. Now, if you're wondering, Party Knife, why is your forehead all red? Well, because in order to get back in shape, you're doing this all day. And that's why, because this is take 4, that's why. Like this is harder than it looks. I'm not doing it, but like the material, it's not that hard. But like it's also not soft cotton, right? Like. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, today we're doing another 4 legend challenges. Now doing that made me think. Challenge. YouTube challenge. Need a YouTube challenge. As you guys know, I'm fairly prolific with the knife, right? I'm by no means a pro, but you know, I'm all right with one, right? And so I thought, what could be a good challenge? Well, I present to you the boxing glove. Can I? I don't know. I haven't tried before. Is it possible for me to use? Yeah, I should probably be careful here. Okay, here we go. Wow, this is really hard. Holy fuck. Success! It's stuck. Come on. Do it. No help from the left. Oh. Oh, this is like really hard for the fingers. Like, oh, I swear to God, that's. Oh, my thumb. Like every muscle in my thumb just. Anyways, another 4 legend challenges. Today we're doing Act 2. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and hopefully you will learn something new. Yes. Now, next on the list we have Athel Yenlui. Now, this one is actually not as hard as you probably feel like it is. I hear a lot of people struggling with this challenge in particular, but there's actually a really simple way to get it extremely consistently. First thing you need is 3 invis heroes. Now, the handmaiden there was supposed to be a shade. I'm not sure why she decided to be a handmaiden. You essentially get a shade and a ranger veteran, and of course a ranger trooper. Now, when you're playing out throughout the map, in order to actually get to the end event, it's extremely important that you collect a minimum of 1 concentration potion, preferably 2 concentration pots, and if you get 3, then it's just easy, right? So essentially you just play through the map as you would normally, except that you keep every concentration pot you find until you have 3 or more. Then you can waste them as you please, but you need, like, preferably you want to have 3, but 2 is still really easy, right? So if you have 2 concentration pots, the person who's not gonna have 1 is the ranger trooper, and if you only have 1 concentration pot, then it should be the shade, who also doesn't have a concentration pot. But let's take the sort of the most regular and sort of realistic scenario, which is going to be that you have 2 concentration pots. That means you're going to have 1 person on 1 with a shade, with a conch pot, who can be invisible for the full 15 seconds in which you need to turn the circle. And that's a really important keynote there. It takes exactly 15 seconds from start to finish if you hold this in. Exactly 15 seconds, no more nor less, for all 3 of them. And you have a total of 30 seconds to pull all 3 off, right? So when you then have your ranger veteran and you have your shade, both with a concentration pot, they can both stay invis for the full 15-second duration. Especially if they both have decanter on their charm, increasing the efficiency and length of the concentration pot. Then you have the huntsman here. Now, you simply grab the talent that increases the invis of your ulti to 10 seconds. That means you now have a scenario where, assuming you wait until everyone, someone's trying to join, assuming you wait until everyone's ulti is ready before you start. Then you have one player here on the huntsman, another player here to defend, a ranger dwarf over there, and a shade over there, and they're gonna be fine on their own. I have invis for 10 of the 15 seconds, which essentially means that the last guy just has to manage defending me for 5 seconds out of the remaining 20 seconds, right? So for 5 of the remaining 20 seconds, because I have 10 seconds of invis, so yeah. And if you do it like that, then it's really, really easy. Now, personally, I prefer standing like this, opposite, because if I need to block or push, that's a lot easier. Yeah, I always position myself as such. And you don't want to use your ultimate immediately if you're someone who doesn't have a comp, right? You don't have to care if you have the comp out, because you have plenty of invis time. But on this guy, you simply start, and by the time minions arrive at your, by the time there are actually minions that can hit you, you've already shaved off 3-4 seconds, right? Which means now, literally all the last guy has to do is to make sure you don't get pushed off, and yeah, and that's it. Make sure you don't overshoot it, because if you do overshoot your mark, that is to say, if you hold it down for more than 15 seconds, that is an instant fail, because as I mentioned, it takes exactly 15 seconds. You only have 30 seconds, which means you're not gonna have enough time to do a second rotation. So it's way more important not to overshoot it than it is to be fast enough, right? So take your time, because you have plenty of time. And if you follow those steps and those tips, then really it should be a piece of cake, assuming you have 2 conk pots, which, you know, most games you do. And yeah, that's it. The bell map is one of the easier ones to solo. Done it 100 times, both intentional and unintentional. Simply because you essentially just speed run the end of it. Now, usually I will do it like this.
The gods are returning. We should not be found wanting.
God damn it, double us out. Of course, I didn't get an easy one. Oh, that timing, I'll admit it, that was a little bit lucky. Gotta admit. It's also pretty sick.
Get out of it, Tom. That bell is certainly dealt with. That roar like a drunken dwarf.
Oh. This is my, I just did a recording that I accidentally screwed up. So I clicked one of my hotkeys for full cam. But in that, wow, that was just way easier. Like that, holy shit. That double assassin made it kind of tricky, not gonna lie. Oh, shit! They're not. That was probably just a normal. I felt like I heard another assassin. I think I'm good. There we go. You know, normally you'd have a team as well, and they just all kill themselves as soon as you're close to getting to the end. That way it should be slightly easier. Also, you normally don't get like 2 initial assassins. That is literally the worst spawn you can get. When you use your ulti, like after you clear it out, the boss spawns, then make sure you either get straight down as soon as it opens, or you wait a bit until the boss jumps up. Because otherwise you'll ulti there as the boss is jumping up, and you'll get bounced, like pushed back and away. Which, you know, can be the difference between winning or losing, success and failure. Up next, we got Fort Brachsenbrücke. Wow. Now, obviously, you're gonna get to the point where first you need to aim the cannon. And although this one is technically soloable, I would suggest you have at least a friend. And if you're trying to accomplish a challenge as a two-man team, I'd suggest something like Shade or Handmaiden combined with an Iron Breaker. That is primarily because the Iron Breaker has a taunt, which is gonna make it way easier to gather a large amount of minions in a small amount of space. And the Shade/Handmaiden is essentially you have invisibility and a lot of mobility, making it easier to get the cannonball to one of the high locations from which you can then throw it down to where your Iron Breaker has collected a bunch of minions in his taunt. That is the best way to do it, I've found. We got the worst cannonball spawn for this particular challenge. But the more people that are alive, like it's harder for 3 people to gather the same amount of minions if you like compared to just having one dude who can take all of the aggro. Like if you do get this spawn, just either going up here. Again, don't ever hold cannonball. Spam click it with E, then jump throw. Is the best way to sort of move it around. And you need decent height on the cannonball before it actually goes into explosion mode. So let me demonstrate. Number there. Got a couple. Wasn't a very effective one. Again, now the way it works in terms of the cannonball is it's determined by its actual momentum and not how high up it's dropped from. You can see there that was not high enough because it's sort of a lot of the momentum was dissipated. But that also means that it can be an advantage to throw it downwards depending on sort of your angle. In decent area here, you should also be able, if throw it from here and actually throw it upwards, that should explode. The area that I sometimes use is getting up here with the cannonball, and then you have your Iron Breaker down there. You see if you jump and throw downwards, then it gets enough momentum. And of course the same thing works from this side, hypothetically. Boom! And then you just keep doing that until you get the chat notification. Visioning. Woo! This should do it. Boom! Not bad. And you just keep doing that and then win the map. And that's pretty much it.
Healer's draft right here.
Moving on, we got Into the Nest. This one is soloable. In fact, I'd almost say that it's somewhat easier solo. Now, what I prefer doing is I like to get him low first. So down to like 10 to 15% health. Now, if you're doing this solo, I suggest making sure your bots are dead first. Maybe not like before you start the fight, but during this fight here, before you get to the 10-15%, they should be dead.
Not yet.
Kill my boss. Obviously, you don't have that function. But
Where have you gone?
and essentially what you want to do now is you want Scarab to kill 40 minions. So you drag them into his attacks like so, which again is somewhat easier solo, because that way everything is going to be on you, right? So that way you can get these massive, you see, where a bunch of minions get hit. That's why I find this to be easier to do if you're the only person alive, at least. It doesn't have to be solo, but otherwise, you know, all of the minions are going to be split up and scattered between all the remaining living recipients. So you just don't kill minions at all whatsoever until it pops. And then especially those attacks that he does, those massive AoEs, they're really good for just easy dragging. And if you have a lot of block, you can just do like this. You will take a little bit of damage, as you can see, but it's really not a lot. So assuming you have a health pot or so, that can still definitely be worth it.
What in Dracula's name is in this bottle?
It would have pretty much popped by now, I think, if it could. And then once you've done that, you simply revive all of your friends or bots.
We are in time. God, nice.
They snug up on you, motherfuckers. And that's it.
Shame there are 1,000 ready to take his place.
𝒮𝔴𝔞𝔤𝔤𝔢𝔯𝒮𝔮𝔲𝔞𝔡. Kill! I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Yes. This would be very kind of you, my friend. Anyways, let's try something new. Like, this video gets 1,000 likes. 1,000, that's right. This video gets 1,000 likes. I'll do a video on the new released elf that was leaked. Huh? I don't think we're gonna reach it, but it's alright. I've never done this before. I've never asked for likes in that manner, but let's see what happens. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, love you guys. Stay awesome. Peace out. My name's Michael, and I'm a fucking Mongolian.